I am so glad these conversations are finally starting to be had. Because when we talk about decolonial consciousness and anti colonial living, we're not just talking about fighting the power. We're also talking about consciously recognizing the paradigms we've falsely inherited as our own and infiltrated into our culture from generation to generation that actually work to our detriment.
Say it again.
Beating a black child is the whitest thing that you can do to destroy them psychologically, spiritually, emotionally, and physiologically.
Corporal punishment and the view of punitivity as a form of discipline is purely a colonial export. That's why I am so repugnant to this widely propagated fallacy that restorative justice is somehow new and in misalignment with human conditioning or African culture. There are several tribes in South Central and Southern Africa that have said to have practiced moral restoration when their community member was straying away. Tribes would spend a minimum of 3 days going around circles and reminding the community member of who they could be and who they can choose to be with the support of the community to the betterment of others. Not the corporal punishment that was introduced and systemicized as a tool of subjugation. Not the corporal punishment that really antithesis love.
Are still convinced that corporal punishment is something that comes from African culture and has always existed, when it is a completely colonial export. Before colonization, Africans did not believe in corporal punishment or not trying to guide or discipline their children. This is something that came with Europeans, specifically during the Victorian era.
Discipline is about correcting behavior, leaving room for people, especially children who are still scaffolding with every single thing and figuring out their place in the world, to live in alignment with what is morally acceptable. But beating and corporal punishment does quite the opposite. It just instills fear. And believe it or not, they're very likely to do exactly what they did, just not in front of the inflictor of corporal punishment. The truth is, people make culture, not the other way around. And several studies have shown why corporal punishment is the most elusive form of discipline there is. So why continue? It needs to stop.